and welcome to my channel. This is Makeup by Mackenzie and I am Mackenzie, obviously. Today on Makeup 101 I am talking about eyeliner. It's been a long time since I've done a Makeup 101. I did a lot in October with some very fun Halloween makeup. It's kind of good to get back to the basics a little bit, and I've been putting off doing eyeliner. And if you pay attention to some of my looks, you'll notice that I tend not to do wings for a lot of my looks. And I really like the way that they look, but I also feel like they're a little bit overdone. Like, it almost feels like every look out there needs to have a wing in order for it to be considered complete or glam. But regardless of whether or not you can do a wing, eyeliner is something that's kind of fun to experiment with, and it's certainly fun to practice. So I'm going to be telling you all that you need to know about eyeliner today in this video. So without any further ado, let's play with some makeup, shall we? Eyeliner typically comes in 4 different forms, and I'm going to talk about those 4 forms and kind of their pros and cons. So the 4 basic types of eyeliner are powder, pencil, gel, and liquid. So powder is basically just eyeshadow, but you use it like an eyeliner. So if I was to use a black powder eyeshadow, that would be my black eyeliner. One of my favorite eyeshadows to use as a black eyeliner is the Wet n Wild Color Icon single eyeshadow in the shade Panther. It's a really pigmented black eyeshadow, and it makes a great eyeliner. So for this, you would just use a pencil in order to put this onto your eyes. So I would use something like an angled brush, but you could also use a flat, thin brush that's got a kind of a narrow point to it. You could also use that. Just like that. Let's talk about some of the pros. So I find that powder eyeliner is the most natural looking out of all of the eyeliners. So if you want something very natural, a powder eyeliner is a good way to go. I also find that it tends to be really easy to work with, and part of the reason is because you're working with a brush. It's not as pigmented as a lot of the other eyeliners, which is a con. But at the same time, it's a pro because it makes it easier to work with. There's a little bit less risk. You're not so worried about messing up with it. It also is very smudgeable, which also can be a pro and a con. It's smudgeable so that you could easily give yourself kind of that smoky, smudgy look. So if I was to take a smudger brush and kind of smudge that out, now you've got sort of a smoky effect. And that's really easy to do with a powder eyeliner like this. It takes a matter of seconds to smudge it out and get yourself a little bit more of a smoky vibe. On the con side, it tends to smudge really easily, even when you don't want it to smudge. So for me, I have hooded eyes. And so a lot of times by the end of the day when I've worn like a black powder eyeliner, I will have a black powder line along my crease where my eyeliner has rubbed up against there. But if you are careful with it, if you do a nice thin line, if you don't have hooded eyes like me, that might not be so much of a problem. Let's go on to pencil. So pencil eyeliner is just like it sounds. It comes in a pencil form. So you're gonna get something, so it's gonna look something like that. You would sharpen it just like you would a normal pencil. The thing about a pencil eyeliner is that you can get it to be nice and pigmented, unlike a powder where you would kind of need to pack on the color in order to get the color that you want. A pencil, depending on the pencil of course, can be really, really pigmented, so you don't really need to put much effort in order to get color. Another great thing about pencil eyeliners is they smudge really easily. So, also depending on the pencil. So if I take my same smudgy pencil brush and I start to smudge that out, I can get that nice smoky effect that we want. So we've got a little bit more of a smoky line now, but it's way more pigmented than the powder. So that kind of just depends on the look that you want, but that's a pro. But like the powder, depending on the pencil eyeliners can smudge again when you don't necessarily want them to. One thing that you can do with pencil eyeliners that you cannot do with powders, and you can't necessarily do with gels or liquids either, is put them in the waterline. So what's the waterline? Well, the waterline is that line that's either above or below your eyelashes, in between your eyelashes and your eye. So on your lower lash line, it's this line right here. And you have another one on your upper lash line as well. And you're probably like, why would you ever line the upper? Why would you ever do that? Because it's so close to your eyes. Well, for the upper lash line, it can really help to make your eyelashes look thicker. So if you tend to have sparse eyelashes, or you just want them to look a little bit more thick, adding liner to your upper waterline can give you that effect. So that's one of the reasons that people tend to do it. Another reason is that if you're using a really pigmented black eyeliner, for example, a lot of times you'll see that gap and it'll be really obvious because you've got this really pigmented black and then you've got this flesh tone right there. So adding a pencil eyeliner to your waterline can help make your lash line look more seamless. Putting pencil eyeliner on your lower waterline can also help kind of give you a certain effect. So if you're doing a darker eyeliner, it can give you this kind of moody, smoky effect. If you do a lighter eyeliner, it can give you a little bit more of a bigger eye look. And another really popular thing to do is a pop of color on the lower waterline. That's something that's really trendy right now and also really easy to do. So if you want to keep up with some trends but don't want to put that much work into it, that's something that's really easy to pull off. My favorite by far pencil eyeliner is the Rimmel ScandelEyes Waterproof Kohl Eyeliner. Now moving on to gel. Now gel will typically come in a pot form like this. So it's a little bit between a solid and a liquid. And you would typically put this on either with a like an angled brush like the one I used for the powder eyeliner, or you could do something like a pointed brush like this. Now you can also find gel eyeliners in the form of a pencil. So you would sharpen them just like you would a pencil eyeliner, except they tend to be a lot softer. Gel eyeliner will have a little bit of a drying time. Not so much in the pencil form, but in this kind of cream form of gel eyeliner, it will have a little bit of a drying time. However, you can get really pigmented eyeliners with gel. Now this one I'm using is the e.l.f. Now you can also smudge out gel eyeliner, but you do have to be a little bit more careful with it and do it before it dries, because once it gets dry it's not going to smudge anymore. So I'm just going to take that same pencil again, and you can see I'm smudging it out, and it actually smudges out a lot easier than the pencil does. So one thing you have to watch out for though is because it has a little bit of a drying time and it's easy to smudge, it might smudge before it's dried, even when you don't want it to. I have personally found that gel can be really hard to work with. You can get really, really precise with gel, but it also tends to be kind of messy, and I find it's really easy to make mistakes with gel eyeliner. The nice thing about gel eyeliner though, that's kind of the same with powder and pencil, is that if you make a mistake, you can just change your look up a little bit and smudge it out. Let's go ahead and move on to liquid eyeliner. So liquid eyeliner will typically come in two types of forms that you might find it in. There's this little like ink pot kind of form, and then there's a pen form. Now the ones that I find that are the easiest to work with are the pens. They're just easier to hold than these little paintbrush versions. A pen form will come like this, and you can grip it a lot closer if you need to. Pen eyeliners will come in with two different types of tips. They will either come with a brush tip or a felt tip. While felt tips can be really excellent, they do tend to dry out. Now that kind of depends on the brand. I've had some felt tip eyeliners that don't dry out at all, and I've had some felt tip eyeliners that have dried out within like 2 minutes of me trying to do a wing, and like you're in the middle of your wing and your eyeliner dries out and you're like, what do I do? So then you have to sit there and wait. So my favorite drugstore eyeliner is the Essence eyeliner pen, and that's a felt tip, and it's pretty pigmented, you can see right there. My all-time favorite eyeliner though has to be the Kat Von D Tattoo eyeliner, and that is a brush tip. So that's like that. The cons about liquid eyeliners is that there is a drying time, and that varies depending on brand. So you want to be careful when you're putting those on. They're not smudgeable. So if you make a mistake, you need to figure out how to cover up the mistake or get rid of it, which makes them a little bit more difficult to work with, although I do find them to be a little bit easier to work with than gel. They do take some practice though, because you can get some great precision with eyeliner, but you do have to have a lot of practice and you have to have a lot of patience. It is totally reasonable to be like, I'm just not gonna deal with liquid eyeliner, or I'm gonna practice a lot with liquid eyeliner before I even try to wear it in public. That is exactly how I was. I didn't use liquid eyeliner for a very long time until I finally decided, you know, I should probably know how to do a wing, and I started practicing. You can find all types of eyeliners nowadays. Like, this is something that you could really have some fun with. It does take practice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how I do my wings using liquid eyeliner. I started off using powder when I was practicing my liquid eyeliners. So I basically started off by, I would do my eyeliner basically just like I did today, and then I would add a teeny tiny angle at the end there, and I started to kind of practice making that little wing, little angle at the end bigger and bigger and bigger until I finally felt like I had mastered doing a winged eyeliner with powder. And then I moved on to trying out liquid eyeliners, and I practiced doing liquid eyeliner wings at night before I went to bed. When I'm already going to take off my makeup anyway, I might as well mess it all up by trying to do a wing eyeliner. Let's go ahead and dive in to doing a winged eyeliner, and I'm going to show you how to do that using the Kat Von D Tattoo eyeliner. One thing that I recommend if you're trying to do this for a look that you want to look nice and you want to wear it out in public, I would do your eye makeup first and do your winged eyeliner first before you do the rest of your face, so that if you make any mistakes, you can go back with concealer and foundation and clean up the edges of your wing. Or you could easily take off all of your eye makeup and do it all over again without having to worry about doing the rest of your face all over again. I've made that mistake quite a few times. So, pro tip. Alright, so let's try and do this wing. So the first thing I like to do when I'm doing any form of eyeliner is do the plain old line across the lash line. The most flattering eyeliner shape for any eye shape is when it is thinnest towards the inner corner and thickest towards the outer corner. And that's why wings are so flattering on a lot of different eye shapes, because they're really nice and thick on the outer corner and thin on the inner corner. And that is most flattering because it gives you this lifting kind of effect on the outer corner. I've got my basic line down. And now what I like to do is I just like to start to add that, what they call a flick, but it's basically just an angle. It's just a line that angles up towards your eyebrow. And what you want it to do is you want it to kind of continue the natural line of your lower lash line. So you see this, how my natural lash line kind of angles up like this? I want my wing to kind of follow that line. So I like to look down into a mirror. That helps me to kind of see that line, and also to make sure that my eyelid is not in the way. Another thing you can do is you can rest your hand, you rest your elbow on the table, and you could also rest your wrist on your chin, and don't talk while you're doing it. Alright, so that's what I have right now, and I kind of messed up a little bit. I made it a little too thick, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. I tend to find that smaller wings look best on my eye shape, but that's kind of up to you. I haven't mastered it enough to be able to like pull off the like really long ones, but that's something I'm experimenting with. Now basically what you're going to do is you're going to start connecting it to the lash line. So I start at the tip, and I just progressively kind of start drawing it outwards. I'll show you. So you can see now I'm starting to sort of drag that line out a little bit further until I'm starting to get the shape that I want. And then you can kind of fill it in as you go. Remember, small strokes are your friend. Don't try and do all these really long, big strokes. Do small strokes, be patient with yourself. And I guarantee you the first few times you try and do a wing eyeliner, you're gonna look like Amy Winehouse, and it's gonna progressively get bigger and bigger and bigger and thicker and thicker and thicker. It's okay. It happens to the best of us. Then, just make it look pretty. And when you're kind of trying to make your wing look even, make sure you're looking at yourself at a bunch of different angles to kind of make sure you're getting the shape that you want from multiple different angles. And the biggest secret I can tell you when it comes to eyeliner is when it looks good, stop. Don't mess with it anymore, because if you mess with it some more, you might mess it up. So if you've got it to a point where you're like, okay, that looks pretty good, stop. Don't do anything else. Now, when it comes to making the other side look exactly the same, I have no tricks for that. It's kind of just luck. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side off of camera, and I will be right back. Alright, so as you can see, they are not perfectly even, nor will they ever be. But hey, they look pretty darn good, and that's all you can ask for when it comes to wings. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line my upper lash line with a black pencil eyeliner. And I'm just gonna run that all along my upper lash line. Okay, so we've got the upper lash line done, and now I'm just gonna do some fun pop of color, and I'm going to take the Maybelline Lasting Drama Waterproof Gel Pencil. This is in the shade Striking Copper. But that's basically eyeliner. It's really something that you can experiment with. You can have a lot of fun with eyeliner. Eyeliner is one of those things that definitely takes practice. It's not easy, and anyone who tells you that eyeliner is easy is lying to you. But it certainly helps to kind of finish off a look and give it a little bit extra something something. So I think it's worth trying out, worth experimenting with, and worth taking the time to practice. If you have any more questions about eyeliners, I would be happy to answer them, so please sound off those questions in the comment section below. Also, let me know if there are any other Makeup 101 topics that you would like me to talk about, because I want to do what you want to see. So let me know. As always, I will have all of the products that I used in today's video listed in the description box below for you to find. I will also have a link to my GoFundMe campaign. 100% of those proceeds goes towards making this channel the best it possibly can be for you guys. So if you really like this channel and want to help me make it better, please consider donating to that. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at MUBYMackenzie. And if you like this video, please give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like it in the future. Alright, that's all I have for today. Remember, makeup has no rules. They're more like guidelines. So, you do you, boo-boo. Alright, see you next time, everyone. Alright, let's get into this. So if you haven't seen those, I will have that linked somewhere for you. The only problem with these is they make them really hard to open. More cohesive and seamless. And I've had some felt tip eyeliners that and I've had some felt tip eyeliners that dried out? Yeah. Good luck, my friends.